Well, I suppose this episode was going to happen eventually, so whilst I get the rest of the flooring done in the garage, we talk politics. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Progress is coming along on the floor. It's slow. And Xia, how are we looking for lighting?
I got 4 options.
Alright, we've got 4 options.
Are we recording or are we good?
No, we're recording.
Never mind.
When you step back out into the garage, mind the gap. Or just hover over the top of everyone and forget about the gap entirely. So here's a question. This video is probably going out end of January, I think. Do you think the US government shutdown has ended?
Nope.
There's a US government shutdown?
Yep, close to 1 million federal employees. Most prevalent is the airport security and air traffic controller. A bunch of government agencies are going without pay. FDA is out without pay.
Yeah, it's bad. Those lights do not work.
I was just putting different ones up.
Yeah, the glare on them is... Is there a way to soften the glare? Increase the radius, soften the glare? I don't know. Yeah, at time of recording this, I think it's been 25 days that the US government's been shut down. Is that right?
It's 20 plus right now.
What's the reason why they're withholding the budget?
Take one guess.
President Trump wants his wall, and so he shut down the government to get his wall.
Yes, he's actually stopping 800,000 people getting pay because he wants a wall. I saw some salary, pay slips from a few employees. An air traffic controller got paid 1 cent for the entire month. NASA employee, aerospace engineer, got paid nothing, but then got tax taken off.
Fun.
This thing is not even producing any light.
And this is all because the US budget system is weird.
Yes, I was thinking about this when it first happened. I was thinking, so he wants a wall, so everybody else doesn't pay. Doesn't get any pay. I don't understand. What's the other people's pay? What's an engineer's pay? What's air traffic control's pay got to do with your wall? I don't.
He's basically holding the entire country hostage.
It's basically what he's doing is he's always putting, I want to build a wall in the budget. He submits that budget to the Senate, and the Senate's saying no.
Well, yeah, but Oh, I like that. Okay, I think it's that light then, I guess. Again. That light's probably the best one we've got. Yeah, it's just I have been, I mean, you know that the United States of America is a mess when you've got workers, federal employees going to food banks.
And the food slips are. I'm trying to remember the term for those. It's a real mess, though.
I do hope by the time this video comes out that it has ended. But it has ended, but Trump hasn't got his wall.
Oh, the funny thing is that it's it keeps changing the definition of it.
Oh yeah, I read that.
There is a wall that every past president has made renovations to, or repaired, or replaced.
But that's not this. Last I heard, he wanted a wall made out of steel slats. Now, Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Britain, isn't that what we call a metal fence?
Yes.
Yes.
The also thing is that he wants like a wall like the Great Wall of China or something like that. That's walls don't do what they used to do.
Yeah, he wants a Great Wall of China made out of steel slats, which, and you're gonna love this one, Jake, he wants to be transparent on one side.
Right.
I see a few flaws with his logic.
The other thing about the wall is that people, even with the current walls in place, drug dealers are still tunneling underneath them, and most of the drugs are coming through the checkpoints anyway.
Oh yeah, I heard something, a Democrat saying that the problem is not the wall, or the fact that it goes that there's tunnels, there's hundreds of miles of tunnels underneath. And then the wall's not going to fix that, unless you're going to make the wall underground too.
And then they can just dig deeper.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh,
I think I dropped something down there.
Yeah, there's some steel plate. Hey.
There's actually a way out that I forgot that we built in down there.
Oh.
If you go that way for a little bit up to the conveyor, there's actually a path all the way out that leads underground on the base. I don't know. I just think that withholding the pay of 800,000 employees is just. And I heard it's also Is it security agents at airports?
TSA. So the only ones that are getting paid are the Senate and the higher levels of government. So the Senate, Congress, President.
So essentially,
Everyone
the really
else.
rich people are still getting paid.
The people who can live without an income are the people not getting, are the people that are getting paid in comparison to the rest of the government, which is.
And some of the Congress women and men have elected not to get paid until this is fixed. They don't want to take their paychecks until this is fixed because they have morals.
Yeah, now I understand that, but I mean, then what's happening to their pay then? Where's that going?
It doesn't exist.
Energy low.
You see, that's
Or they're not accepting their paycheck.
yeah, but if they don't accept their paycheck, where does that money go now?
That money doesn't exist. It's not allocated as expenses. It doesn't exist. Because, well, so the money that they're getting, which presumably is through taxes and other things, is currently just pooling somewhere, not being used because there needs to be a budget for it.
Yeah.
There is no budget for it, so that money may as well not exist.
My favorite is, you know what, it's coming up on tax season in the US. The IRS is currently not around.
Tax season in the US
So
is when? April?
Yeah, so this is when the it starts happening, W2 start coming out and all this. Every day that shutdown continues, delays the IRS by or more.
Is this then? I'm just putting something out there. Is this going to start, for example, having an effect on my pay from anything I am getting from American revenue streams?
I'm not sure.
Because that's got to go through the IRS.
Let's say that maybe.
Because this is affecting small businesses that are near federal workers or federal things, national park.
Yeah, I heard most national parks are closed. Is that?
Yep.
So what happens to these national parks? I mean, there's no one maintaining them. So what's happening to the animals or the?
It's likely that there's going to be a few people maintaining them because they want to maintain them, but they won't have enough resources to do so. Which means that it's open season for anyone who wants to damage the national park. Not on a legal front.
Yeah.
Coast Guard's not getting paid, so that's national security right there.
So here's the thing: if they have it so that the tax service doesn't go with pay for a long while, it means they won't be able to collect any tax, which means you have no money to budget.
Yeah.
Which means that you can't budget it towards the tax people, so you won't be collecting taxes. So you can't pay the tax people to collect the taxes. And
in not collecting taxes, you don't have a budget, which means you can't pay anybody. So those people don't have taxes in the first place. So what you've ended up with is a bankrupt.
It is a negative feedback loop.
Yeah, and eventually you've ended up with bankruptcy. Because that's what that eventually leads to if nothing changes.
Yep. Now here's the question: is it that the president is stupid enough that he doesn't realise that that'll happen, or is it because he's using that fact to his advantage to get it?
Well, I think. First of all,
I think it's the latter.
I was going to say I think he's stupid, but I think he's been told that this is. He's been told that this is how you're going to get your wall. Yeah, do this and you'll get your wall, because eventually everybody's going to cave in, because they'll be more concerned about people in their own country and think, well, now we've got to put Americans before Mexicans or Cubans or Colombians or wherever, Salvadorians, whatever it is. And then the president goes, hey, look, I won. But in reality, he's just... Essentially, it's a hostage situation.
Yep. Now, usually these kinds of hostage situations are to make it so that the Senate can take power from the president because they get to terminate the budget. But then, if the president turns that around and puts something in there that the Senate will never pick, it means that the Senate is the one setting the budget, not the president.
Yeah. Someone's told him how to play this.
Or he's figured it out.
I highly doubt he's figured that out.
I tend not to underestimate.
I don't think he's smart enough to figure it out, but I think he is smart enough to know that there is someone who can figure it out for him. He's one of those people, I think, that aren't smart enough to do something on their own, but they are smart enough to know that they can get people to do it. And that's just... That being said, I also think the people he gets in are often not... What's the right word? What's the word I'm looking for here?
Moral.
Yes. Yeah, their morals aren't great. So then he doesn't feel like there's a problem flipping on them. when they do something wrong or they finally get caught. He's like, well, I didn't tell him to do that, which he this is going to be the strangest thing I'm about to say. In the president's defense, he probably didn't tell them to do that. He just said, get it done in any which way. So he's just going to go, well, I didn't actually tell them to do that. They just went ahead and did it.
Oh, where are you grinding?
Sorry? Oh, right, hang on a second. Alright, you're clear to bring that wherever you need to.
I'm gonna just move it. Can you tell me what I'm just gonna move it over.
Yeah, just turn it. Yeah,
where
just
you're
turn it around, and just bring it towards me.
Got the crosshairs on you.
Great.
The other thing that's interesting is, so farmers, because the farmers are usually going for loans to start planting again, they can't do that because of this.
And stop.
Medicaid and all the fun stuff.
So now
Just
with
mess.
farmers, that's even worse though, isn't it? Because that's having a massive effect on all your agriculture. And normally
Yeah,
farmers
and-
are very they get hit pretty badly with any of these, don't they? Because they rely on subsidies that Trump pulled back on, didn't he?
Yeah, and then to bring more hardship to the farmers is the grain tariffs that are in play.
That's the ones that are having an effect on your trains.
Yes. It's just one large mess.
Jake, I don't know about you, but when you hear about America's problems, Britain seems to be doing very well currently.
No, we're not.
Oh yeah, we're not, but compared to America,
It's equally bad, but it's even worse for America because America is a larger power.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Compared to America, we are looking like we're doing well. We're obviously not, but I mean, to be completely honest, I think what is it, June the 19th? I can't remember the date.
What, the date of what? Brexit?
Yeah.
That's March.
Oh, is it March? Sorry, March the 19th, not June the 19th.
Yeah, so it's March 19th for when we proposed the deal, which we don't have. Or
Yeah.
rather, which we do have, that we don't want.
Well, yeah, and it seems nobody in government, and I say this as a someone who votes Labour. I don't even think Labour can pull this off. I don't think Labour have got the capacity, or
No, it won't be Labour who does it.
Gadget, do you want
Conservatives can't do it.
mow the lawn over here?
Sorry, you broke up there, Exia.
Do you want to mow the lawn over here?
Yeah. I was just mowing the lawn over on this side for a second.
No, because here's the important thing that you've got to remember. The only way we're going to get a good Brexit deal is if the Conservatives ally with Labour.
Which is
Which means that Theresa May has to ally with Jeremy Corbyn.
just not going to happen.
So either Theresa May will be lynched out of power and they'll put someone else in that is willing to talk with Jeremy Corbyn. Because Jeremy Corbyn has a very strong position, or at least I think.
Energy
And then they can
low.
work together. Or Conservative MPs will go behind Theresa May's back to work with Jeremy Corbyn.
Well, I feel like they're already going behind the back.
Well, yes. Remember the vote of no confidence?
Yeah, exactly.
Vote of no confidence to prove that we're not confident in her, and then she won the vote of no confidence, which means she wasn't removed, but now she's a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Because Brexit, as everyone can see, is going to go bad, and so therefore she's the one that gets blamed.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say I will not say it was Theresa May's. Brexit wasn't her fault. You know, I actually put the blame of Brexit. Firstly, I put the blame of Brexit on David Cameron for actually saying we were going to have a referendum. You should not leave things like this up to a referendum. The British public, overall, are not smart enough to know all the facts. As a matter of fact, at that point in time, up to the referendum, nobody in the world knew all the facts. So the referendum was a moot point anyway.
Because here's the important thing. If you're going to do a referendum about us doing a monumental thing like leaving the EU, you first of all draw up a plan for how that's going to happen, then you submit the referendum.
Yeah, and say, look, this is how it's going to work. Now, do you want it? Then if you gave that to the British public, I think the British public would have read it and said, okay, now we can make our decision.
They wouldn't have. The
Uh,
majority of the British public wouldn't have read it. Instead, what they would do is they would listen to the people who are arguing for the side that they want.
yeah,
That's effectively what happened in our referendum.
yeah, except that our referendum had nothing but lies on one side.
No.
The 350 million bus.
That
I-
had partial truth.
I know people who voted.
Point of it was a lie.
Yeah, but I know people that voted purely based on that. I know people who said, look, we're not too fussed about immigration, we're not too fussed about that, but if there is a way to fund our NHS which is fairly, and that's Brexit, then we want to do that because we need to keep our NHS running, and if leaving the EU means we're going to be able to keep our NHS running, then I am for that. And I will be honest, when I first when the referendum when the information first came out, I was vote leave. I was vote leave because I thought, you know what, the NHS, I rely on the NHS a lot for a number of things.
Well,
What on earth?
That.
These things. Let's not worry about what just happened.
what are you doing?
I'm causing destruction on a minute scale. Nothing to be concerned about yet. But I don't know about you. Were you vote leave, remain, and how long did you switch between the two at any point?
I was vote remain because, well, first of all, I wasn't against the EU in the first place, and I know better than, yes, we can spend money on NHS, and I'm like, no, because that's not how it works. So I was remain all the way, but at this point, I'd just like there to be something done that means that we don't have any more uncertainty. So either we say we stay, we say we leave.
Yeah, we
or
just do something.
It is do something, stop thinking about.
Yeah. Xia, do you want to get rid of some of that? Do you want to mow the lawn in that area, as you were saying?
Yeah, I need to get a grinder. Actually, a drill.
Yeah, that's my thinking now. Now, okay, I think the government personally, I think they should just call it off, and just go, look, I know it's a referendum. One, it's non-binding, but two, it's just not going to work for us. Britain is not as strong as the Empire.
Will not do that.
I know.
under their body.
I know.
Because that would be the ruination of the Conservatives.
Yeah,
If it was Labour in power and they said we're not having Brexit, then the Conservatives can go, well, we gave you the referendum, but it's Labour that cancelled Brexit.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we should be complaining.
Exactly. Now, but aside from that, I agree with you with the fact that just do something. Say you're gonna leave. Say you're gonna go. Just do it. Just don't go. Oh well, we've got a plan. We're not sure of the plan. We don't really want the plan. We can come up with a different plan. Although we don't fancy coming up with a different plan. You know, that's essentially what they're doing. They're just going around in circles like that, and it's not working.
So you know that Parliament was debating the deal as it stood. and then was due to have a vote
Yeah.
to see if the MPs would agree to deal.
Didn't Theresa May pull that vote
May
back?
goes around and goes, and no one gets to vote.
Yeah, she said, well, that vote is, from when we're recording, it's a week from now, isn't it?
I think so. What, do they reinstate the vote? Or
Yeah,
did they-
she said the vote will happen before the end of January. And it's expected that they expected that that deal is going to be rejected in Parliament.
Yes.
Um,
And then and then what happens is Theresa May goes back and goes, right, I have a month or so to get another deal. Does it
Yeah.
again, gets rejected, continue. We go to the EU with no deal. And then Theresa May either chooses to remain or leave, or rather the government, depending on the way that things happen.
honestly, I think we're going to end up leaving. We shouldn't.
I think that is likely, but I also think remain is likely depending on how things play out.
Okay, but here's another issue. With this whole idea of remain and leave, a whole idea of this, it's brought out a lot of certain types of people out of the woodwork. Now, if they choose to turn their backs on Brexit, I feel like that's going to start causing things like riots.
Any decision will start to cause instability.
It'll cause instability,
also-
but will it cause...
Either decision will make someone unhappy, and having a half-assed Brexit deal will make a lot more people.
That'll make everybody unhappy.
It's a lose-lose situation. The only thing is, you need to make sure that the people that you're making upset aren't your main voting bloc.
Yeah, which for Conservatives are probably people who voted leave more.
Yes. Ish.
Yeah, ish. Not everybody, of course.
Wasn't David Cameron saying, I'm a man of the people, at some point? Which was kind of like, are you trying to get the workers' vote? Because I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did say that. I will say one thing about David Cameron. He did
Left
say,
at the right time.
well, he did say that if the vote is Brexit, he is not the right man to lead.
Yep.
So he did say that before. But then I'm wondering, did that cause more people to vote leave because they didn't like him? Conservatives. That-
Well, if people are that petty, then then well, it's a referendum, so he brought it down on himself. If that's the case,
Yeah.
but I prefer Mr. Cameron because I don't remember any significant destructions of how our government works in comparison to Theresa.
No, I agree with you. I would have rather had a David Cameron Tory government than Theresa May. I don't think he did, and I think that may have been to do with the fact that for most of it he was stuck in coalition, even though the Liberal Democrats didn't do anything helpful. I think that they stopped him from doing anything disastrous at times.
The only thing that people need to realise in this day and age
Yep.
is, first of all, we as a people do not trust the government.
Yeah.
Maybe you should work on that.
Yeah.
And second of all, austerity doesn't work.
No. Never has.
What does work, on the other hand, is a thriving middle class. And the way you get that is increasing the minimum wage.
Yeah, they won't do that.
Labour would.
Labour would, yes, but the way
Labour would get rid of tuition fees.
This is true, and that was one of the reasons I voted Labour, was that I found that it would be easier for people to learn and therefore excel. And we need
Well,
people excelling.
Here's the problem. A lot of people go through university these days, whereas earlier they didn't. And not everyone is... university isn't the best thing for everyone. For example, whilst I can do my university course, I'm finding it not the way that I learn things. So it's not
Yeah.
that helpful.
No, I agree with you. I have pretty much similar thoughts on that. I could do the university course, but there would be better ways in which I could perhaps learn. But of course, when I was doing my course, the apprenticeships and all that weren't that great. And even other ways of learning weren't that great. It was only after I left that they started bringing in a lot of different things. But at the same time, they increased university fees to $9,000 after I left.
And now it's 9.25 grand.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. No, that's what it was. It was 9,100 and something. My university fees were 3,300 a year. So after I left, though I didn't have the opportunities, at least I didn't pay $9,000. And with that, we can end this final episode of the session.
Yep, we delved into politics because that's all we're good for these days.
Because it's interesting when the world burns.
Thank you very much for watching this episode of Space Engineers. Don't forget to hit the like button if you liked the video and subscribe to catch more episodes. If you have not yet done so, please follow me on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/ecgadget, and please consider also supporting me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Lastly, please do follow or subscribe to all the other players in this series. Channel links to the channels for Vectrix, Snaggles, Carter and Jacobine will be in the description box below, as will the links to my Patreon and Twitch. Once again, thank you, and we shall see you soon in Space Engineers.